Okay. Just checking to see if I'm going live. I appear to be going live, so we can continue. Alrighty. As we discussed the last time that I streamed, we unfortunately encountered a problem that resulted in a bit of work being lost, and I am, as you can see, sorry, wrong image. Wrong image. There we are. In the end, we only had five sectors that were impacted by this problem, and there were four things that I needed to do to each of these sectors to bring them back up to where they were on Thursday. Remove the bad colliders, add the hedge colliders, add the utility poles, and add proper colliders. Now, we've, I believe, been able to complete 12 of these requirements across all five sectors. Right now, I'm going through removing the bad colliders in this one, and I'm hoping we can go back to adding the hedge colliders. Maybe get two of these things done. So it'll be up to 14 out of 20 items done with only 6 remaining. And I think we could probably get that done by Thursday. So, no, Tuesday, which means, all in all, this maybe costs us 5 days. But, there are always going to be little things that I discover. It's like, oops, lost that. Ah, such is life. Yeah, I've got to get rid of all these redundant mesh colliders. And yeah, can I just say, I redone my work so many times. Back when we had certain people working on this project, there were some people, the person who was, I swear to goodness, every week he was just deleting my work off the server, because I cannot come up with another reason why my work was constantly being deleted week after week after week. All these hundreds of hours of work that I did constantly being deleted, and it made no sense. And in the end, like I said, when we got rid of this one guy, all of a sudden that stopped. I guess I know what that guy was doing when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm doing server maintenance." Yep, doing server maintenance. Yeah, that's precisely what he was doing. Server freaking maintenance. Look at all these mesh colliders. It's stupid. I can't believe that somebody thought this was a good idea. One of my, I'll say along with my thing about. I'll be straight up. Again, when I came into this, cancel. Sorry. When I came into this, I never wanted to be a manager because I thought, Anyway. Not going to go into that again, but really, one of my mistakes, along with hiring the AAA people, was hiring people who said, "Hey, I want to work with games. I know Unity, blah blah blah." But honest to goodness, these guys. I'm having to do so much of the work time and time again. Oh, hold on. That collider is still viable, I believe. We'll see. But yeah, we just gotta fly around here again. Yeah, we got some bad colliders over here on these fences, maybe. Looks like I have a viewer, or we have a viewer. Hello. I think we can leave these as is, really. But one thing that concerns me is it looks like something's mixing colliders entirely, which is kind of crazy. I want to make sure that these are not given their that if they do have colliders on them, they are not put in as concave, because that screws things up. But yeah, what the heck is causing? Where are all those colliders? All right. Doesn't look like it's concave, but I just want to make absolute. Ah, there we go. Hull. Concave. That's it. Damn it. We gotta just turn those out. It's just crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna find for all hulls. And we will see if we can just get, turn those colliders inside. All those, they're not supposed to be convex. They're not. I mean, just silly. Oh, hello. We have 4 viewers now. Yeah. For those who tuned in a couple of days ago, you know, stuff got, unfortunately, it got a little bit of work got lost. And I'm in the process of just going through and making sure that there are no more of these stupid colliders that are supposed to be there, and where I go in and put the proper colliders. And let's see. If anybody has any comments, criticism, or anything they want to talk about, really, that was one thing I wanted to talk about. If can I just say, if you're ever running a game development company, and seriously, any of your people that are working for you, literally just their main thing is calling you, saying that you're crazy, literally gaslighting you and stuff. And I mean, jeez, fire them immediately. And also, anybody who's like too freaking not more obsessed with what you are doing as a person rather than with the stuff they are doing as a game. For example, I have to go back. This one guy we brought in, and he was a guy that I was like, oh, he's local. He really likes game development. I want to give him a chance here. And honest to goodness, this guy, he apparently, I mean, I'm learning now when I'm going through this, he didn't pay much attention to the hell of a lot of work that he did. But man, if I posted anything to Facebook, this guy would immediately assume it was about him and get something under his butt about it. And I just can't. Why did I put up with that? I mean, if I posted, for example, one day I posted something about Donald Trump on my Facebook feed, and this guy immediately comes back to me and he's like, how can you say this about me? Like, you do everything I do is not about you, man. I mean, goodness gracious, I just can't deal with people. I should have never been a manager. This game should have just been me, Laura, and one or two coders brought in on a select basis, and also Laura should have been in charge of hiring, because I just was no good at it, apparently. Excellent. But I still want to get I mean, it's called gaslighting. And if anybody does that to you, by the way, that's all I need for. All right, the Flash Player Days. Tom Quinian? Flash Player Days. Stoko, hello everybody. Tom Quinlan, can you fill me in a little bit more? But if you don't know, I mean, really, gaslighting since the Trump presidency has come into the popular lexicon a lot more, and that's very good. But it's essentially somebody basically telling you, oh, you didn't remember, you're having false memories, you didn't remember that, or basically just slowly trying to convince you that you are nuts. It is coming from a movie called The Gaslight, and it's actually now a clinical, psychiatric term, and it's done by people who feel they need to do that to control you. In fact, if anybody in any social situation, let me give you a good piece of advice, starts to give their psychological advice about where you are at that moment. First, understand that ask them for their degree in psychiatry, because without a degree in psychiatry, they're acting unethically. And number two, if they can't provide that degree, and they won't, ask them. No, just remind them. Psychological evaluations are usually made by unqualified people in an attempt to control a given situation. That is what is done. That is what gaslighting is for. and never, never, never put up with it. If you hire somebody and they even try it once, out the door immediately, because they are going to be no good for your project and no good for your mental health. I can tell you, as somebody who's been through that. I mean, really, goodness gracious. There was a point. Nah, I won't go too much into it, but I mean, when we brought our new coder on, I had been through this gaslighting for so long for these people. I mean, things were just freaking crazy. And after I got rid of these people, they all left. Everything is on an even keel again, man. I mean, never hire AAA developers and never hire if anybody gaslights you, especially if you're paying them, out the door. Because it's basically, again, it's done to try and control a situation. And in this situation, more than likely, it's your damn project. If not, it's just somebody who's just floundering around and doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. And really, do you need, people like that on your project? No, you don't. I mean, really, that was another thing. I had another thing that Mike Shuranovsky used to do. I mean, that was one of the last things that he did before I had to fire him. He basically made up stuff, psychological diagnoses that he had just imagined during his spare time, and was applying them to me. And during conversations about the business, he would be, "Oh, remember about your condition that I told you about? Seriously, gaslighting, out the door. Don't put up with that." And again, when he did that, that was the last straw. He was out the door. Again, Mike Chernovsky, that was one of his last things he ever did. Before going on to like the public our in project Discord. I think we were still on Discord at that time, and just making very just screaming accusations against myself and Laura, my co-developer. But anyway, you know what? I need to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back, guys. Thanks so much. And I think, going through these colliders, I've removed all the potato colliders, I think. Things look pretty good overall. So what I'm going to do right before I leave, and I'm going to be right back in a moment. And by the way, nobody has asked any questions or commented or anything. But I just want to say, oh, what's up here? Hold on. Ooh. Now, this sector up here, this is this one. So that's 770, and that sector is, as they say in the military, FUBAR, and that means effed up beyond all recognition. It's going to probably require 2 days of work in and of itself, but considering really how far we've come in just the last few days of working, I think I'm going to go through here and try and find what the deal is and why we don't have all the hedge colliders for this guy up here. So we're just gonna, number one, highlight that sector so we know exactly where we are working. Hold on. Add on. Oh no, that sector is fine, I know, but it was this one. I know I have hedge colliders that need to go in there. If I'm able to put the hedge colliders into, hold on, we 780? Well, let me just go back to my reference again. Yeah, we've not added the hedge colliders to either of these, so maybe that'll be my next goal here. But I want to get rid of 770 just because it's so screwed up, it's so distracting. And while I'm gone, by the way, I see we have 4 viewers. Please, if you have any questions, comments, criticism about the game, please let me know. I'll be right back. thanks everybody for sticking around while I was gone. While I was a goner. Um, so what we want to do now is we want to find all of the hedges. Let's just turn off these guys really quick. All of the hedges that would exist in these two sectors. And boy, are they complex. I'm going to have to just search through my our stuff and blah, 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 blah. And what we want to do is we want to look for models. All right. All right. Any question? No questions, no comments. All is looking very. Yeah. Here's it. Well, thank you very much. I just need to be very accept the compliment and move on because I don't know. I again, I have to go back to this, and I really should just stop talking about it. I really should. But the thing is people deserve to know, and I just want to make sure that people avoid the same mistakes that I did. Let's see. We're gonna go down to Yellow House. Yellow. Oh yeah. These are the Yellow House hedges. And also, can I just say? I mean. When this happened to me, when the whole scammage came to light, and I finally came to the realization that what happened during the whole thing, it just sucked on another level. Because as I probably mentioned a few times, I used to work in politics back in the day, and once I was so privileged to, I mean, a couple of times I was invited to speak at George Washington University at the JFK School of Government. The Institute for Policy and Democracy on the Internet, because I used to run a political site, and I mean the New York Times for some reason calls me if not the inventor, the one of the inventors of the do-it-yourself political ad, which in effect calls me one of the inventors of viral political self-made political videos. And I'm if anybody calls me the father of that, I'm gonna echo Paul Krasner when he was called the father of the underground press. He said, "I demand a paternity test." That's what I'm gonna say if anybody calls me the father of the political ad or YouTube political ad or the viral political ad. I demand a paternity test because I refuse to be responsible for what have followed. But here's the thing: is and that's the new thing that I've added for these broadcasts. I have this thing that I keep on saying, here is the thing. And now every time that happens, I put a quarter into the here is the thing jar over here. I guess I'm going to spend it on, I don't know what, but I got to break that habit. Anyway. Okay, well, cats are awesome. It looks like there's only one real hedge. Oh, no. Yeah, there is only one hedge. Because you see, these hedges here are just too wild and rough for the cats to walk on. Those are hedges for the cats to walk through. So I think in that one sector, there's only one hedge. Right? Yeah. Awesome. So what I do is I just stick that into its proper hedge collider, and I could mark another sector more or less done. I forget what I was talking about. I'm just going full steam ahead. Oh yeah, political videos and such, yeah. And the thing that I don't know, Paul Krasner, he used to run this magazine back in the early, I mean, honest to goodness, he was, generation, many moons ago. And I'm just even wondering if my references to, Paul Krasner even just resonate. Does anybody even remember Paul Krasner? I don't know. I gotta drag that one back into shape because of course The XYZ coordinates of everything are just a wee bit off. And yeah, the thing, transparency. Number one, I'm always transparent about the project for a number of reasons. Number one, because the internet has finally woken up to the fact. I mean, I when I was seeking support for Peace Island, sorry, um, I mean, I didn't know the amount of scammage that was going on, especially with MMO games and such like that. And I knew, I mean, like I said so many times, me and Laura, we know what it's like to work hard for $1. And if we expect somebody to give $1 to this project, considering, I mean, outside of games that were made 20 years ago, I'm pretty much an unknown, quantity in game development. I mean, we want to be completely transparent with those people. Those people brought us to. I mean, you dance with those who brought you, man. As Molly Ivan said in politics. If you don't understand that reference, you dance with them who brought you means those people who brought you to the point that you are, they are your priority, number one, and that has always been my thing. And number two, another reason why we deal with transparency is because there are people, thankfully, whistleblowers like Kira TV and others. If you don't follow them on YouTube, I recommend following them. Even though Kira sometimes does very superficial documentaries that he really shouldn't do. But he's just trying to make a buck, so I'm not going to put that against him. But Kira TV is actually, he's a new genre of online video of just basically going into these crowdfunded projects and calling bullshit on them. And here's the thing, is that to a great extent, those projects, number one, absolutely deserve it. And number two, these days with the advent of cryptocurrency and these get paid to play scams and such, so many games are being started on such suspect, what was I saying? Suspect pretenses that thankfully there's now whistleblowers out there that call bullshit on projects that do go out there and don't have regard for their contributors' money and just go try and pull some crypto scam. And it's absolutely in our interest to go, no, we are not that. And I mean, I am 100%, actually, it looks like there may be a duplicate there. Hold on for a moment. Yeah, I don't want to be part of the problem, man. Because I mean, if there are people that like follow the same path as Laura and I want to make it easier for them, not harder. We don't want to make it like so that people. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I gotta find these little bits. There we go. I have duplicates somewhere in here, and it's so in the main game. I think we're good. What we need to do is number one, I forgot, put it on climbable so that the cats can just sit right up there. But I still see a duplicate, and that just drives me up the bollocks here. Let's see what we can do here. All right. Looks like there is a duplicate right there. That's the duplicate. I got to go into this guy here. I mean, and can I just say, it is so telling that every one of these crypto scams that has tried to start their own game, they immediately go towards some MMO crap. Because here's the thing about MMO games. MMO games don't require writing or thinking. It's just putting a bunch of players together with a certain rule set, and hopefully that whatever rule set that you come up with is going to be exciting to the point that it can sustain it for a certain period of time. And I mean, I just... Where are you, you little thing here? You are just... No. I think it's in the baked objects, right? Hold on, this is weird. Thanks for everybody's patience while I work through this. It's just that there's something here that is not appearing as it should. And it's driving me up the wall, Wallace, because you see, orphan objects in here. But the only thing inside of there that has this is this guy here. But if you go up to the parent object, is there something? Ah! No, no. There we are. There are two of them. That's what I thought. All right, great. And we're just going to remove that one so we can just delete it immediately. All right, great. All right. So, yeah, that's all the hedges in that one. And, yeah, I think we already took care of that. Oh, no. Add hedge colliders, baby. We can mark another thing off of here. And also, I mean, MMOs... I mean, outside of World of Warcraft and anything, are there any... I mean, the people who are watching... I mean, what are the premier MMOs these days? I guess, you know, it's gone beyond. When I think of MMO myself, I think of like MMOs like, you know, Dark Age of Camelot and such. But I understand, you know, a lot of people, they have the combat games like whatever, Splinter Cell and God, what's the there's Rainbow Six or there's one universally played game that's all military and it's MMO, but I mean, I don't know what these other ones are that people are trying to poop out, and I will call it pooped out because again, MMOs are just shortcuts. It's the game. It's there's no purpose in them because really all it is a treadmill. It's a Sisyphean task. That's the only thing that those sort of games can give you is just rolling a rock up a hill time and again. And again, doesn't require any writing, doesn't require much in the way of coding. You can grab everything off of like the Unity asset store. Like, I mean, there was this one guy I learned about the Cure TV, and that guy, honest to goodness, he was a scammer. He was born to scam. And this guy, what he did was he said, I'm going to start some sort of cryptocurrency game. I'm going to hide this tree because it's in the way. That's basically based on it's going to be Minecraft crossed with Pokemon, and this guy raised literally tens of millions of dollars. This guy doesn't him and his entire family don't have to work for the rest of their lives, and he had nothing to show, nothing but a pitch and a scam. And of course, it was you know, funded by crypto, and the people who in the end bought into it got garbage for their money. But hey, and what that guy did was he went on, he spent most of the money that he got on NFTs that are now worth nothing. But the thing is I mean, literally, when you have $75 million to play with, and you're only trying to make an MMO, that guy could definitely make an MMO on that kind of cash with no problem whatsoever. With just basically hiring a few people to do it for him. So, and again, there's so many people out there that try to do that, and I can understand why to do it, because it's a heck of a lot easier than actually sitting down and trying to make a game. Scamming people is a heck of a lot easier than making a game, I'll tell you. As somebody who fell victim to it. But I mean, I myself, I was like, dang, I know, having like worked in politics, I know it's very easy to scam people. Come on. What's challenging is, honest to goodness, working and producing something of your own heart and soul that's worth all the time that you put into it and worth all the people. I mean, all that. I just really cannot understand people who are into just like, yep, I'm going to scam people. I'm just going to walk away with all the money. And, you know, whoever walks away with the most money in the end wins. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I'm like, well, you'll have to think about when you die, you know, your last years. He's like, yep, I'll think about that when I'm on my private Greek island. You know, what? Again, I can't seem to find the specific hedge that's supposed to go over that and these items here. Let's see here. Now, by the way, I look over here. I step away from the mic to breathe and also to check the incoming messages. Yeah, there's always a shortage of. I think really the granddaddy of them all is still basically Dark Age Camelot, correct? Not Dark Age Camelot. DAC is still alive, I think, but barely. Uh, World of Warcraft, that is still the big granddaddy of them all, isn't it? But now there's things like. Well, no. I don't know. I can't. No, I think I'm not a fan of MMO games. I've never been a fan. I played Dark Age of Camelot for 1 year, and in the end, what I did was I got to the point. I played an elf, and I think I've mentioned this before. Where in our public discourse did elves go from tiny little creatures that worked for Santa to these tall, like sexy creatures with long hair and such? When did that happen? But anyway, I played this elf, and I had it all going on. I was like this. I could just by myself and my familiar, we could take on like creatures like way above our path and our level and everything. But in the end, I just realized, it's a Sisyphean task. I'm just pushing a boulder up a wall again and again, and I just found this player on the side of the road. I said, "Excuse me, stop. Open up your inventory," and I just gave him every last thing, all my thousands of gold, all my weapons. And he's like, "Why are you doing this? You're going to be back in a couple of weeks." I said, "Oh, yeah, right, kid. I was never back." And I mean, maybe that's why so many people are asking me, is Peace Island going to be multiplayer? Because they're just desperately we're hoping for some sort of a multiplayer game that's worth it. Okay, just one more review of these colliders. Let's take another look here. Yeah, I did those. I did mark those colliders. Oh, no, I didn't. Let me just see. This is 780. Is 780 on our... no, it is not. That's odd. That should be on our list. Oh, well. So, it was these 4 sectors here, right? Oh, no. Let me just go back to my Photoshop. I may just be out of my head here. Yeah, they're actually all south of the church. These are the ones I need to concentrate on. But at least I got a few things out there that were fixed. So, now the problem with this sector over here, I can't really say I can remove the bad colliders because sector 770 is a mess. Such a horrific mess. What I need to do now is something kind of difficult. I need to start isolating all the proper colliders and then bring them in to these sectors. I'm just thinking, is there anything else that's more fun I could work on? Actually, there is, and I'd rather work on that. So I think I am, because you know what? I've worked on redoing all this work all day, and there's only so much redoing stuff you can deal with before you go a little bit crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and deal with something else that I've been wanting to deal with for a couple of days. Oh, and somebody else made a comment over there I wanted to comment on too as well. A reply to. But I just want to go to our scenes and open up the scene I'm talking about. A menu exterior save, yeah. Oh yeah, it's records of your work and look back and see how much time and effort went into it. That actually Stekovata, I think that's the name. They bring up a good point. I mean, when I started up our Twitch channel again, and you'll see what the problem is with this scene in just a moment. As soon as it plays, essentially, the skybox is not working properly in this because we've installed a new one since about 3 months ago, about a month ago, and I have not brought the improvement in here, even though it's very minor. I want to get that done and work on something other than redoing the same stuff. But when we restarted our Twitch, I started off by going through all 1900 of the screenshots that I took back when it was just a project between myself, Laura, and whichever coder we could afford. And it was just astounding going through there and seeing all the progress was made and realizing that progress ended again the moment that I brought in these quote-unquote AAA developers who said they wanted to work on the game, and it was heartbreaking realizing that, and it was good, and it is good to have those pictures, but also I don't know, when I came to the realization of how much those guys. How much I had screwed up by hiring those people. I mean, honest to God, every decision those people made, every decision, every suggestion, just absolute insanity. But anyway, I want to fix this scene here and fix the background, because it should be at night with a clear sky and a particular background that has a second moon up in the sky. So we're gonna try and get that just right once again. I mean, all last year, when I came to the realization of how much time and resources had been wasted because of those. Anyway, it took me a long time to get over it, but you know, there it is. Got to get rid of that and bring that proper one in. Yeah, and now we're going to run it again to make sure that the Enviro is completely out. And Troy Younts has over here. Glad to see you have not been discouraged and still working on the game. I use Linux. Hey, maybe we will release in Linux. We'll see. If we have the budget for it, we'd love to. Yeah, I'm sticking with it because I mean, I have no other choice. I have absolutely no other choice for a great number of reasons. Number one, I'm 52 years old and I started this game when I was 47. I'm not going to have, I mean, I put more work into this singular project than I have in anything else in my entire life. Without any doubt, this is the biggest thing I have ever tried to create in my life, and I could never, ever, ever turn my back on that. Ever. And number two, understand, if I gave up, where would that leave all of our supporters and all the people that gave their hard-earned money to make this game happen, and all the people? I could not let them down. If I did, I would rather. I can't say the word on YouTube, but you know, I'd rather than give up, because I'd have to answer to all those good people. I could never let those people down. It's not about me anymore. So anyway, just to let you know, I mean, I'm sticking with it because I have to, and not just because I have to, but because I also just feel that it's so important that I have to. I cannot just turn my back on it. I can't anymore. So much work has gone into it, not just my own work, but so many other people's great work has gone into it. And we have some sort of shading problem with these angry mesh rocks. I'm trying to figure out the source of that. I wonder if I need to just get rid of them and reinstall. We'll see. Because right now we're just trying to get Enviro back in here. So, let's see. Actually, what I can do is I can copy and paste the Enviro Sky over from the main scene. That's what I'm going to just go ahead and do, because it has the same settings, so I'd rather do that than set up a new one. Well, thank you, Troy. I really appreciate that you have been following us since the beginning. And I mean, I keep on going back to this. If I had not hired those people, but I just have to go back. Imagine that you're a game developer that I mean, suddenly got so much support and so much, and people were expecting so much of you, and somebody comes to you, I mean, out of the blue, and they're like, "Hey, here's me and my compadre. Here are our resumes. Here are the games that we worked on." And you do your research and you follow up on it. You find out these guys are 100% legit, but you find out no, these guys, no, 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 no. I think I've gone over this before, and I really should restate this. Here's why you should never, indie game developers, here's why you should never hire a triple A developer. Anybody who's worked for a triple A company. I could tell you the businesses and here to's and why for's and why it is. But I could tell you, as somebody who's worked in the corporate world before, when money gets into things, there are always people that are going to try and insert themselves as middlemen between management and people who actually get their stuff done. And game development or video games are the number one way that the human race entertains itself these days. And as a result, so much capital is flooded into game development over the last couple of decades. Billions, uncounted billions. And so there are literally so many thousands of people at AAA game companies like Sony and Bethesda and such that sit as gatekeepers between management and the people down below who actually get stuff done. That the people down below, these AAA game developers, quote unquote, sit there in their cubicle waiting for stuff to come through those levels of review in some sort of Kafkaesque nightmare. And you know what they do during those times when they're sitting there, getting paid $100 an hour to sit there and wait, hurry up and wait for stuff to pass through these levels of review? They play other video games. They may work on something else, but they're not going to work on the project that they were hired to do because they can always go, hey, waiting for direction up above. And again, I've been in these, I've worked for Bayer Pharmaceuticals. I've worked for these big companies. I can tell you this is 100% how it works. Now, why indie game developers should never hire a AAA game developer? Because these AAA game developers, they can come to you and they could give you whatever resume that they worked on and whatever great long list of projects they may have been associated with. But you know what they really did on those game companies and on those projects? They sat at their projects in their cubicles, and they sat there in their cubicles. I don't know, looking for new houses, working on their own projects, answering email, going on Newgrounds or another site, playing another video game. That's what they did. And they got paid $100 an hour to do that. Do you think, and now here's why, again, why you should never, as an indie game developer, hire one of these idiots. Because do you think that these people who got paid $100 an hour to basically sit behind a desk 8 hours a day, if not more, get paid $100 an hour to just go, hey, waiting for stuff from up above and do nothing? Do you think that they are going to give one bit of effort toward your company, toward your project, when you are paying them only a fraction? When you go to them and you say, this is what I want done, they're going to go, hold on, who reviewed this? Do you think this is a really great idea? I think you really should spend a little bit more time reviewing that. Remember, I used to get paid $100 an hour. And they delay, and then they just come up. They are excuse machines, these people. I freaking hate them. And again, Peace Island is going to come out, and there will come a day where, these people who did this, this is going to end. This is going to come to an end, because this happened to us. I know it happened to other companies out there, and it's going to come to a freaking end. Not just for us, but for every other person out there. Because I know, if you have a game, it's a labor of freaking love. You work 11 hours a day, 7 days a week on this, and people come along and they just sabotage it out of pure callousness and disregard. And I just cannot. I don't want that to happen to anybody else, because I know how much it freaking hurts. So anyway, yeah, I was working for some reason. Yeah, I was gonna get the. I'm sorry I went off on a rant there, but literally, I'm an evangelist about this now, because I am just so, knowing that this could happen to somebody else, I am just I want to be. I mean, yeah, you can come to any other game developer, but you got to come to. You're gonna have to come through Peace Island first, because I mean, I want to. I will stand at that gate, man. And people go, why not hire a AAA developer? They know so much more about the game industry. No, they know Jack. They know Jack. I mean, this one guy, Brett Dunham, he, honest to goodness, the resume that guy has. I still have his the quote unquote work that he did for us on hard drive, and that's why I could talk shit about Brett Dunham to my heart's content. Because if he chooses to sue me, and Brett, if you are watching, please sue me. I would really love to just show off the kind of work that you provide for the people that you work for. I would really love to do that. I'm going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, and those in between. Okay, I see we lost a lot of people during my big rant, but hey, such is life. Oh goodness, so you're asking me if I want to report anybody. No, okay. Throughout that entire rant, we lost a lot of, I don't know, nobody else is here, so we're just gonna keep scenery. Put that in there. Yep, Enviro. And now we're gonna run it again. And this is what you have to do every step of the way. You just gotta make sure, okay, working, check, working, check, working, check, working, check. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Troy, I know who you're talking about. Goodness gracious, Atrocity Guide, I believe, a YouTube channel called Atrocity Guide, did a video about the couple who worked 40 years on their animated short. I think they literally started, when Khrushchev was in power or something, or when Gorbachev was. I mean, literally decades. Yeah, see, it's looking a little bit better now, but we still have this shader issue. And what we want to do is get a better sky. Here's the thing. We just type in Russian animator couple, Tale of Tales. If you want to see their work, I mean, they did, they're Yuri Borisovich Norstein and some reason, it's about Francesca Yarbosova. They're amazing folks. I mean, literally, they came in there with their like little silent Soviet cartoon, and back in during the days of the Cold War, and they won an international animation going up against everybody. Just these two people, and they're wonderful folks, and I don't understand how they're able to continue work on it, but I mean, if it will ever be done, but yeah, if you haven't seen the Atrocity Guide video about those two, it's a very fascinating story. Let's see. What we want to do now is we want to create a new one, a duplicate of this, and we're going to call this main menu. because we need another. Oh, all caps still on. Yeah, and I mean, really, if you want to go to another project that took forever, and I hope for a piece, I don't want to take it as long as this, but Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress. Those two brothers worked on that game like unbelievably long time, and I mean, in the time that it took them to come up with their game, you know, people like I forget the studio, but RimWorld is basically Dwarf's Fortress. You know, with a simplified Dwarf Fortress, and so many other games came out with basically the same model. While these two brothers were working on what they wanted to do, and I mean, they finally came out with an alpha version, far less complex than than RimWorld visually, but rave reviews, and it just goes to show again, if you just stay true to your intent, you know, stick with the process, you know, that's anyway. Yeah, we lost a few. Well, sometimes YouTube says I've lost people, but okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the simulation of time, and we want. Oh goodness, that's another thing I've been wanting to do for the longest time. You see all these particles, these floating little balls in the air here. These are things that usually, I mean, every game uses these days to FPS. They add little floating dust particles to just add a little bit, because the lizard brain, it activates the lizard brain when nothing else is going on. And we just have far too many, as you can see. It's like a constellation. But right now I'm just trying to get it right, yep, to that perfect spot where, and what we want to do is change the weather to clear sky as active, and then save our profile. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get the impression, Troy, you're my one remaining viewer. I'm sorry. I'm 52. I have to beg just one more minute, one last visit to the restroom. I'll be right back. Thank you so much. Get ready for this, guys that may be watching. Trust me. You think, oh yeah, I can hold it forever. Trust when you get past 50, it's like just a switch goes off, and no. You're gonna get used to being like Hank Hill and immediately just figuring out, okay, where are the restrooms? You know, wherever you're in, you're gonna have to figure out, okay, this is where the restrooms are. Top priority. Be right back. All right, checking my audio levels again. Sorry. Oh, 50. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Troy. Yeah, so let's run this one more time. I forget exactly where we were on what needed to be done, what has been done, what is not. Let's just run it again really quick. Oh, yeah, I changed the sky. Oh, and one thing I've been meaning to mention, and I wanted to do this in probably in the last couple of minutes. Well, I needed to in the last couple of minutes. I have no other minutes left. But over the last few like live casts, I've been telling people, hey, I've been wanting to watch that movie, that Indian movie, RRR. I tried it. Here's a. I am a Western person. I am not used to a 3+ hour movie with that much stuff in it. After about an hour and 5 minutes, Laura and I were like, "We're full. We're totally full." And we found out, oh, there's still 2 hours plus left in this movie. So it took us. We had to, we called it quits. And here's the thing, bless it, fantastic. I see what the director was trying to do, and I love that people are trying to still make movies like that. But man, it was just too much. It was like, I mean, when I go to a movie, I'm expecting, a fairly light meal, something healthy. But I mean, this is like a smorgasbord, just shoves visuals and action and dancing and plot and character at you. But again, people go to see these movies in India. That's a whole day for them, and I guarantee you, there's probably an intermission halfway through or something. And I can see that because I mean, it was a hyper maximalist film, and if you have the time and energy, I guess. But wow, it was definitely an Indian film. And maybe you would be into that if you have a whole day and you don't have anything else to do. But to me, I was like, man, do I have the hours? 3 hours? I mean, yes, I watched Mr. Nobody, which is the director's cut, about 20 times, yes. But I've not watched it directly. I've always had it playing in the background because it's that kind of movie. RRR, it's like, again, it's just everything all at once. And she's... and I won't even give my opinion of everything everywhere all at once because it's unpopular. Let's see, we need to fix the fog here in that setting. Yeah, and I don't know why I'm so keyed up tonight. I'm feeling a bit more energy than I did. Maybe it was all that crack I smoked. No, I don't smoke crack. I never smoked crack. Don't ever want to smoke crack. Even though, I really, one of my favorite things to do, I dig Nicolas Cage, and I've been asking it lately, when I'm messing about on ChatGPT 4 late in the evening, I do ask it to do like Nicolas Cage stuff with it. That in it, but oh, and by the way, maybe I should do this as my 2 minutes sign off before I go. And we have, I think we even lost Troy. As I'll do my another defense of Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is an actor, and to most people these days, that seems absolutely bizarre. We are not used to real actors. We are used to people like Daniel Day-Lewis, who think if they live in a log cabin for 6 months and poop in an outhouse and eat corn pone and roasted ham and nothing else, they will understand how to act in a certain capacity. I completely just reject that. It does not naturally follow that if you practice certain physical things that you will be able to accurately replicate those things as an actor. And just because you happen to crap in an outhouse house and eat old food and wear old clothes does not mean you are able to automatically channel, like, for example, like Daniel Day-Lewis tried to do it with Abraham Lincoln. You're not going to be able to do that, and that's how he prepared for the role. Nicolas Cage, on the other hand, does it because we're used to method actors. We're used to that kind of people, like Daniel Day-Lewis, who just like, oh, if I just live the life long enough, I'll be able to portray that, and just not without any effort whatsoever. That's great for actors who have absolutely who don't want to put themselves into their, their roles. I mean, no judgment on them if they want to be lazy, but Nicolas Cage, on the other hand, acts. Hold on for a moment. I just need to get on the lighting. My lighting. The fog settings on the scene are wrong. That's why we keep looking fog when I start it up. Sorry. Yeah, I need to disable the fog here. When Nicolas Cage comes out, no, he does a lot of research for his roles. Don't get me wrong, but he understands when people ask him to play a part. He is playing the part. He does not try and live as an ancient Japanese person for 6 months to play a samurai. He will research samurai and Japanese culture to the best of his ability, and then he will come out and give you Nicolas Cage's version of what a samurai should be, or unlike Daniel Day-Lewis, Nicolas Cage would still live in his fancy houses and his castles, etc., and he would continue on his stuff, but he would do his research, and when he was asked to play Abraham Lincoln, he would do his best impersonation of Abraham Lincoln. He wouldn't just be like Daniel Day-Lewis and just like, yeah, I'm just going to act like I normally do and assume that crapping in an outhouse for 6 months did the job for me. No. Nicolas Cage is an actor. And for that, one must give him credit. And it looks like we were able to clear the sky, even though we still have these texture problems here. And too many floating dust motes. We'll get that fixed soon. But, we've been over for an hour now. I thank everybody who tuned in and may tune in the future. I recommend watching Leaving Las Vegas and perhaps Pig, a more recent version, Nicolas Cage's most recent acclaimed film, if you want to really appreciate him for his craft. So until later, bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be here in 2 days. Bye-bye.